Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. It's a bit of a special episode today. I'm going to be going over a farm that I'm actually planning on building in the next couple episodes of my Let's Play series, and I figured this was a sort of better way to go over it than in the middle of one of those episodes. So, I have been working in this world for quite some time, making this bone meal farm. I've tested a couple of different iterations. This one has gone through a lot of changes, and I also wanted to test how efficient weeping vines were. It turns out that this is much less efficient for bone meal than the melon farm, but you can see here it harvest if I just push this button, and basically the idea is flying machines moving along, breaking the weeping vines and going into composters, but they don't grow very quickly is the problem, and they also don't drop a lot. So the actual output is pretty poor. That is about an hour's worth of running on this farm. So 4 stacks in an hour. It seems like, okay, if you were to run it 24 hours, you'd actually get a lot of bone meal, but I'm looking for something that can pretty much keep up with my tree farm and other farms, flower farms and things, which go through a lot of bone meal. So this just wasn't going to cut it. So I started to build up this farm, and it started out at a quarter of this size, and then I made it the full length of this farm, and then I doubled it widthwise, and it has come to be this full size, and I made up these custom flying machines just for this farm, which are pushing along these hopper mine carts with iron bars holding them. I'll show you how to put the iron bars into those in just a second. But you can see here, if I send one of these off, they go along and the hopper mine carts break the melons and they pick them up, and then when they come back to the start, which I can accelerate by tick warping this flying machine, once they come back to the start, you'll see it rest on this hopper right here, and then it will start turning everything that is in here, which right now is a stack and 3, into bone meal. So you see them start going, and this farm is much more efficient than the other one. It makes a lot of bone meal, and I have been doing quite a bit of testing with this just to see how fast it can actually be. And I'm going to be doing a little bit more testing in this video just to sort of show you how it all works. So first things first, let me just show you how I build up these flying machines. By powering that, this shouldn't be able to fire, I believe. Once that's on, that piston should stay across. It'll fire one more time, I guess. Right now this is just on a full hopper timer, which basically takes about 5 minutes, which means it goes about every 10 minutes. So there you go. You see the whole farm take off, the whole farm come back, and rest in place, and now this farm will not reset. I believe they should all stay over here. Yes, okay, so now the flying machines will not leave, so this farm will not break itself. So now we just need some room in our inventory so that I can show you how I build up these flying machines. So the actual engine of the flying machine is this section right here. It's super simple. 2 backwards facing sticky pistons, 2 slime or honey in either direction, and that is it. All you have to do is update this observer or this observer, and it'll go in either direction. And then what we do over here, let me just break one of these out. So we need a rail, just a standard rail. We need the actual hopper mine cart. We need a regular piston, something to power the piston, and we also need our iron bar. And that is everything that you need to do this. So firstly, put the rail in the direction that it's facing, then you put down the hopper minecart. Now, it's very important that at this step you break the rail, because if you don't break the rail, you won't actually be able to push the iron bar down into it. Then what you want to do is piston facing downward, iron bar right below it, and now you'll see I haven't broken the rail. You see it doesn't do anything because the rail cannot be pushed down. So we break the rail, and then we can force the iron bar down into the minecart and place this lime on top, and now it can move with it, and we just have to attach that to our flying machine. And I have these alternating so that they don't stick together, so that we don't go over push limit. So each one of these is 4 wide, picking up however many minecarts that picks up. Some of them are 2, some of them actually have 3. And because of this, and because of the way that I have the bushes in here, which don't stick to the slime, and the obsidian, which will stop, and the same thing on the other side, obsidian to stop it all, nothing sticks together, and also the minecarts stay perfectly aligned. I have all these sea lanterns here just so enough light so that nothing can spawn in here. And then let's just watch this one more time as this goes along. Let's tick this for 500 just to get it to the other side faster. Then what you're going to see is it's going to come under this observer here, which is going to fire this piston, which is going to send it back in the other direction. So it's super simple. I designed this all myself, and I'm really enjoying doing this more, actually, designing my own farms. They may not be the most efficient farms in the game, but it's something that I have come up with totally myself. I built the flying machines from scratch. Nothing from this was taken from anybody else. I'm sure it's not the most efficient, but it works flawlessly. I have tested this, ticking it for hours, and nothing has broken. So this is something that's going to work for a long time in my world and get me lots of bone meal. The only way that you would break this is if you unloaded it poorly. So if you had it on and you flew away from it. So that's why this lever is here. When you leave, you put this lever on. So what I'm going to do now is sort of show you how this works for 1 full hour. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to break this chest. I'm going to pop in a new chest here. And then I'm going to run this farm for 1 hour. And I'm not going to tick warp. I'm going to run it for a real hour just to... I've been tick warping just to see the rates, but tick warping isn't 100% reliable for that sort of thing. So I'm going to run this for an hour on a timer, and I'm going to record it in 3rd person. And we're going to see exactly how much bone meal this makes. I am expecting at least 4 full rows of bone meal here, and hopefully maybe a little bit more. I'm hoping for well over 1,000 bone meal an hour. So let's get this going as soon as I flick this switch right here. So I will start recording, and then I will flick the switch, and the timer is on. So I will be back after 1 hour. And there we go, exactly 1 hour, and I have locked this and frozen the game now so that it can't do any more. So let's go over here, and there we go. That's quite a bit of bone meal. How much is this exactly? Let's put it in a chest so that we can compare this. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4 full rows of 9 plus 7 and 30. So let's do some quick math. So that is 2,782 bone meal per hour. Now I am going to quickly try this one more time because I'm actually just interested in what the difference is between not tick warping and tick warping. So I am going to tick warp for 72,000 ticks, which is 1 hour, and see what happens. Now, the interesting thing about that video is it looked like... Wait, time warp completed. No. Oh! Tick. Freeze. Slash tick. Warp. 72,000. Now it's going to tick warp. The interesting thing about that is it looked like in the video that melons were getting left behind, but there's zero loss in this farm. There's, as you can see as I fly through here, it was just harvested and there is 0 melons. So I don't know why the replay made it look like there was melons here, but they're definitely all getting picked up by the mine carts. It was strange. And even if I come back down here when it stops, oh, it's too fast. There you go, you see them flying out. So no, it was definitely fine, but yeah, I'm going to tick warp this for 1 hour and we'll see if there's any difference in how many we get. And that's 1 hour of tick warping, and look at that, it is pretty much identical. So let's smash this out. I have frozen the game again, so let's let it go again, and... oh, I did the wrong command. Freeze. It was in the middle of a 1 there, but that's okay. And now, what we need to do is check the timing. So I have a feeling that I have too many things in my inventory. I have a feeling that if I reduce this, the number, or how long it takes for the machines to go, that this farm will be much more efficient. And I want to leave just enough time for it to empty the hoppers when they come back. So I'm going to do it at 1 stack, which is 1/5 the amount of time. So instead of going every 10 minutes, I believe it'll go every 5 minutes. There it goes. Just because melons have much less of a chance growing next to other melons, and every time a melon plant grows, it can't grow again. So I have a feeling that this will be much more efficient. So this is now just the trial and error phase. And I'm just going to test a couple things and see what's the fastest, and then I will be back. And we're back one more time. So it didn't work with 1 stack, but with 2 stacks, it actually works pretty much perfectly. It has just enough time to empty the mine carts and then go back out, and it was actually more efficient for bone meal as well. So we ended up with 3,154 bone meal, which is, I mean, almost a full row more, not quite, but quite a bit more bone meal. And the flying machines run a little bit more often, but our ticks per second and MSPT was totally fine. We were only up at about 5, so it's not even that laggy when the machines are running. I can show you here. Tick, freeze, and you can see MSPT super low, so it's not a problem for the world to run. Settles out at about 4.5, and no loss of tick. So works perfectly, and again, you can see it gets every single melon. So I'm going to be building up this farm in my world. It is massive, though. It's thousands and thousands of blocks, so it's probably going to take me a couple episodes, but that is it for this episode. Thank you so much for watching, and if you like the farm, make sure to let me know down in the comments, and subscribe if you're not subscribed already, but I will see you in the next one. Bye!